Hey, what's up? Hope you're having a great day. My name's Megadabs, and lately I've been doing a lot of Zulrah runs. I'm currently over 4,600 KC and still no pet or Tans mutagen. But along the way, I've learned a lot about what does matter with Zulrah and really what doesn't matter at all. So I've made this guide to try and give you everything I learned in those 4,600 KC before you do your first. If you appreciate and like this kind of thing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a nice comment. I'm new here to the creator community, but if you guys like this stuff, I'll make more of it. First off, these are just my recommendations. They're definitely not the most efficient method, but they're what I thought made Zulrah the easiest and what made a noob like me able to kill it over 4,600 times. To start off, you should install these plugins from the verified RuneLite plugin hub. They will tell us where Zulrah is going to pop up, what phase it's going to be, and where we should be. A massive trick that I've been using in my boss fights is inventory color tags. This way I'm able to say, oh yeah, that's range or mage gear without having to rely on my eyes to be able to check what it is quickly. Really helpful if you misclick and forget a piece of armor in a rotation or something. For stats, you should have at least 80 in your combat stats, and all of the protection prayers unlocked. For best results, access to augury and rigor make this even easier. Obviously, the better your stats, the easier the boss, but truthfully, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. If you've never fought a boss like this before, I recommend even higher stats to make it easier. What we need to know about the boss. Zulrah has 3 initial phases and will pop up around the map as it switches between them. We can predict every single one of these moves. Zulrah's initial phases are Magma, or Red, which hits for melee and can be 100% avoided. Serpentine, or Green, which hits range and can also be 100% avoided. And Tanzanite, or Blue, which is really the only opportunity Zulrah has to inflict some damage. Without this phase, the fight just wouldn't be fair. In these phases, Zulrah will spit venomous clouds, which can also 100% be avoided. In addition to the venomous clouds, Zulrah will spawn snakelings, which can venom you and hit through prayer. These can be made completely null by a few different choices. Extended Anti-Venom Plus potions or Serp Helm for venom prevention. Also, the snakelings only have 1 HP. A fully charged Ring of Suffering will do the trick. The final phase of Zulrah, also commonly called the Jad phase, will be your final obstacle. But once again, it is 100% predictable and you can negate all of the damage. It is called the Jad phase because, similarly to Jad, Zulrah will alternate its attacks from range to magic back and forth until it pops back up somewhere else around the map. On each of these different rotations, the final Serpentine, or Green, phase will always be the Jad phase. In this phase, if it is in the western side of the island, it will always shoot range first, and if it is on the eastern side of the island, it will always shoot magic first. So just set up your prayer appropriately before that phase and you'll be good to go. Once Zulrah does his first attack, immediately switch to the opposite prayer. It should look like you're praying the wrong prayer for the attack coming towards you, but that is the correct way to beat the Jad phase. Then for gear. You've probably been staring at this chart to see which gear you need to grind to defeat Zulrah. In reality, just bring your best magic and range gear. All of your gear is safe upon death until you get 50 KC, then it's 100k GP to get your stuff back, but it's still all safe. Zulrah is also a great moneymaker, so it might not be a bad idea to sell off some items in your bank to get better gear, as it will pay for itself in the long run. You will start each run in your magic gear. In your inventory, you will have your range gear, a prayer pot or 2, the best food you can get, and possibly an extended Anti-Venom Plus if you decided to go that route. I like Anglers and Karamblons, as well as Divine Bastion and Divine Battle Mage pots, but this part is entirely preference. Now I will show you how I fight Zulrah. Okay, so we're just going to click the boat, and then immediately we're going to click this square, because that's always the square we click. I turn on augury, start attacking, then I look at my next options. This would be one of the 3 phases on my right, and 2 of them I stay where I am. Okay, it's the red one, stay where I am, but I know in the red phase that as soon as he looks at me, I click to the other square that's around here. We're safe. So next it's going to be the blue phase, protect from magic, hang out. And then I see the only option where I need to move in either of the two next phases is this square over here. I move here, protect from range, because that's the only option Zulrah can be. Click it in my plugin. Okay, the next is I stay in this square and I stay in magic. So even when it is the red phase, I found it always better to attack with magic because Zulrah is weaker to magic. So then I see after this, I go in that X, the little X spot is where you should be. Protect from magic, put on my range gear, step out right here, attack. And then I look at the next spot. So you can kind of get a cycle of what you're doing. You're looking at the next step. You're doing it as soon as you have to. Okay, next is the start phase, protect from range, move over to this square. And then it just rinse, repeat. Once you get that, there's definitely the lull moments, like even right here, you could maybe put on some prayer, maybe look at some tweets. I don't know. You have so much free time. You have a lot more free time than you think you do. So if I don't beat Zulrah here, it is the Jad phase next. Okay, I did beat it. And we've already seen how to beat the Jad phase anyways. I showed that earlier. Rewind if you need. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you go and get that first Zulrah KC that you need. And I'll catch you later.